certain challenges you need to face. And if you're okay with that and you have a clear definition of what your all is and looks like, then I think it is possible.
Yeah, we have a question and I'll read it. I agree with you that every career stage has its own challenges, yet don't we become more experienced, wiser, and more relaxed when we reach a senior and leadership stage? What do you think? I have an answer, but I would love to see what you're saying.
So, first, let me just apologize. I'm so sorry. I've had the worst luck. I've had COVID and I was okay for 2 days and then I got swine flu. So, this is the, the voice and the
No,
cough.
it's
I'm,
just
I'm
fine.
so sorry about that. Please
No, it's
forgive me.
fine. It's okay.
Um, okay. So, let me just read this again because I had the.
I would say what I think, and you'd think about your answer afterwards.
Okay, no
I
problem.
I think that most people think that once we become older, wiser, more senior, have a better role in leadership, it seems like we need to be more relaxed and less eager to prove ourselves. From what I know and from my own experience, I don't think that you get to a stage if you don't have this inner stability. You don't get to a stage and then you say, okay, now I'm here.
Mm,
I got here. Now it's all perfect. I got what I want. I think that we're driven to the point that we always need to prove ourselves more. And whatever we
yeah.
get is just not enough because we could always get something which is better, right? And
Yeah.
it's not only related to career, is the way that you see your life, is the way that you see your financial achievements, is the way that you see whatever you get. It's like, yeah, there's always more. And are you really content? This is related to what you're saying about all. What is all? So this is
Yeah.
how I see it.
Yeah, that I completely agree. That's an amazing way to see it also. And we have to ask ourselves, if you're at a stage where you feel more relaxed and you're in a more senior position and you feel wiser, we also have to remind ourselves that it doesn't really matter what we achieve or where we are or what kind of experience we have. We can always grow and we really always should. It's when we stop reminding ourselves to grow that we stagnate. And for sure, for example, my example now, I definitely would not have been able to start FIGGI 10 years ago. I am for sure at a much bigger advantage in doing this because of the amount of experience that I have been able to build up over the past 10 years in relationships, in project management, in international law. But it's still terrifying. Even as I sit here before I came onto this meeting, I was dealing with a crisis and I am terrified. I'm terrified of making a mistake. I'm terrified of being in this new industry. It's extremely intimidating and it always will be, and it should be, because that's how we learn and that's how we push ourselves to be better and to do more. So, yeah, you do get experience and you do get wiser, but for me personally, I don't think I get more relaxed in a senior. I may actually get a little more stressed.
Why do you think it's more stress? I could understand when if you're not relaxed, but because you need to prove more.
I think especially when you make such a significant change like I just did, you have a lot of pressure to make it
Hmm.
work
Yeah.
because I have taken away a big chunk of my family's finances, monthly finances, in order to pursue this. I have gone into something completely new. I studied cosmetic chemistry, which is something completely different. And there is a very good chance that I may fail, or this may not work, or something may go wrong. A lot is riding on this, and that's just the reality. So, those type of things will always stress us out, and it will always at least make us doubt ourselves, even if it's
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah. When I think about what we call a change or a crisis is a really fast and big change for us. But in general, when we think about change, it's like it's sometimes overwhelming and it's
Yeah.
really hard to do. And most people would try to avoid it as much as they can if they could. Um, and I think it's a way for us to understand that this is how we're flowing with life and we're not against life and not against what's going on in our life. And sometimes, yeah, it means that we need to have these decisions of, yeah, I'm going to work about, I know most of the time that I'm awake, I'm at work. And I need to figure out if this is what really I want to do. It. This is what I see my life as, like when I envision my life in the future, when I go back and see my life when I'm 80 and I want to see my life, is it exactly what I want it to be? Is it
Mm.
like closer to that or not? And
Yeah.
it's intimidating just to think about, like, so I don't have to go with this specific route that was paved for me. Like, I
Yeah.
went to university, I got this role, now I'm in this position, I already have this experience. Why would I do something different? Like,
Exactly.
and it's a big question. Most people would say, I have a stable job, I have my salary, I know what I'm worth. I'm not gonna like um, endanger my self worth with something that I might make mistakes and fail. So I'm
Yeah.
staying here. And more or less, you see people staying in the same position, even if it's boring for them. By the way, if you're in leadership position, sometimes you're bored. It means that you're more or less in the same role or the same domain for so many years, and it's not that challenging. So
Yeah.
sometimes this is what happens. And you see people staying in this stagnatic situation, not trying to do anything else. They're going to work. We have lots of traffic in Israel. I don't know if you have that, but
Yeah.
we have lots of traffic. So you have traffic in the morning, you have work, you're coming back in traffic, more or less some kind of errands and going to see Netflix, more or less, and then
Yeah.
again and again each day. And and I think that most people would say it's enough for them.
Yeah.
They don't strive to
And
have
that's
anything
okay.
else.
If that is enough for you, that's okay.
Hmm.
But if you're clearly unhappy, then you have to be brave enough to make the change,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, I totally understand. So why do you think that balance in life is a myth?
Oh my gosh, my dear friend Balance. We've had some really bad times together.
Okay.
The thing about balance is, and the thing that frustrates me about this is that the conversation in society is so geared towards balance. You have to have a balanced life. And then when everybody started realizing that it's really difficult to balance all things, they started changing the conversation, especially for women, saying, "Oh no, you can have everything, just not at the same time." So it's still I'm tricking you into thinking it is still balanced, but you can't have everything at the same time.
Yeah,
And the problem with that is that we spend so much time and energy and stress chasing balance. It's actually ironic because we want balance to be more calm and in a more better space and more mindful, but we spend all of our energy trying to chase balance and we don't achieve it. And we never will because to me balance doesn't exist. Life always happens. I mean, maybe the listeners' lives may be different than mine, but my life does not have a roadmap. I mean, things come at me when I least expect it in sometimes the best ways and sometimes the most horrible ways. And that will keep on happening because that is the journey of life. That's the whole existence of life. It always has an ebb, it always has a flow, it always has a yin and a yang. So the best that you can do is to strap into life's roller coaster and do the absolute best that you can do at the stage where you're at. If you're at the top, just do your best in that moment. If you're on your way down, plummeting towards the ground, take it as it comes and just try and do your best and just
yeah,
flow through the motions like that. There will always be times where I am a lot more under pressure and I have to put in a lot more hours at work. But if I communicate that to my family and say, listen, this week is going to be really tough. If you can take over dinners for me and if you can do the school run next week, we change it around and I'm on the school run again and I'm giving hugs and kisses and quality time. And you get to ebb and flow that, like one day you'll be up, one day you'll be down. And if we can just try our best to ride that wave. I know it's horribly difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of stress out of it, rather than trying to chase this perfect ideal that doesn't
Yeah.
serve us in the end. But that's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Yeah, I think that I understand what you're saying is like we are investing so much energy in this concept of being balanced, like in life, in our health, in our work, in our work life balance, the all of the